nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big John and G, the two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. What's up indeed, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here. You know we drop a video every day of the week, and every Monday you get to experience a Midday Monologue, where I talk about something that has to do with board gaming. Now, today is extra special, my friends. Oh my goodness, this is extra special. I'm so glad that you're all here. You are not going to want to miss this, because this is the brand new second edition, fully revised Collector's Edition Kickstarter special exclusive version of Two Gun Pixie. What the heck does all that mean? Garbage. Garbage! As I'm going to explain to you exactly what the hell it is I'm babbling about. So why don't you join me down the table and we'll get to this right away. I am not a fan of this. Wow. Okay, so I know I'm not the only one. There's other people in the world, not just me, who have spent money and time collecting up every bit of something. Like a game. This is what this channel is about. Why don't we use that example? So like a board game that has a lot of expansions and big box editions and bells and whistles that the company sells along with it, almost on a monthly basis. You. But there are others, and they've been doing this for a long time. Is it all just a money grab? I honestly think most of the time it is. Now, the first time I came across this was with Dungeons & Dragons. Was the shift. Now, I understood the difference between the basic series of the game and Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. I understood why there was a difference, because the games were different in themselves, and even the settings they took place in were different. Though it was the same game. But it wasn't. But it was. I was fine. I had both. I was collecting both. I was happy as a pig in poop. But then, now, back then I was a kid, so I didn't understand the background of what was going on in the business between Gary and others. I didn't know what was going on. From the outside, all I saw was all of a sudden, here I am, I got just about everything they've ever put out thus far for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. And then I read in Dragon Magazine that they're coming out with a second edition. And they're no longer coming out, technically, with anything that is workable with AD&D. They're just going ahead with AD&D second edition. But all the money that I spent to get everything, the time, because and remember, this is back in the 80s, the early 80s. There was very little, of mail order stuff. Okay, there was no internet. You had to track down, unless you knew of a hobby store. Like here in New York City, I've always gone to the Complete Strategist. But otherwise, if you didn't have a hobby store in your neighborhood, in your city, town, wherever you were living, then you had to meticulously track down where you could get the early Dungeons & Dragons books and game system stuff. It wasn't everywhere. And I did it. I had about like 95% of everything they had out at that time. And it was meaning. Well, no, you're sitting there, and you're sitting there saying, John, it's not meaning, so you have the game, you can still just continue to play without new material. But when you're hooked, when you are so far sucked into a game such as Dungeons and Dragons, you still want to get the new stuff. And curiosity-wise, you want to get the new rule books. Anyway, you need the new DM's Guide and Player's Handbook and Monster Manual if you're a DM for the game. Anyway, you're going to want all three of those just to see what the new system has in store. And that's how it starts. Then you get something else. Your group decides to make a second edition characters for themselves. And next thing you know, you're playing second edition more than anything else. And again, I followed that diligently and I got almost everything there was, and then boom! Wow, we just sold the company and there's going to be a third edition. And nothing's going to be backwards compatible because they completely redesigned the rules hardcore. Now, as a good DM, I don't give a shit about the rules. In a sense, what I mean is, you can give me a basic module from 1978, 79. And I can run it in any D&D rule system. Because the modules are the adventure, they're the story, they're the plot. And if there's anything rule-wise that's in it, you have the update right there. So just swap out one rule or effect for the new one. But it's the point of having everything and then being told, yeah, we're ignoring this. We, the people that created this, that gave birth to this, are now just going to ignore it. And it doesn't stop there. It's not just Dungeons and Dragons that does this. Every gaming system does this, from computer video games to a degree, right? Because you can only play them so far. But board games, role-playing games, this is a go-to method for them. And it really seems that most of the time, it's a cash grab. We don't need a second or third edition of a game. You can come out with corrections for, rules errata. And also, being an old D&D grognard, I understand the concept of house rules. So between house rules, errata, and online updates, it doesn't cost you any printing right there. Boom. Just pay somebody to write the information out. Put it up. Okay? You can continue having a first edition system, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons, whether it's Descent, it doesn't matter. Board game, role-playing game, you can continue with what you have with just slight updates. That's it. They know this. I'm convinced. How can they not? But instead, see, that's not gonna get them the scratch that they want. They're not gonna get that. What they are gonna get, though, is you, a hardcore gamer, and especially nowadays, there's more hardcore gamers than there ever have been before. They know that if they put out a new edition of a game, the majority of original gamers are going to spend money on it. Now, I say majority, not more, but they also know that there's going to be some new pull come. They're going to generate some new fans to the game, and it's all going to equal out. To me, it's a slap in the face. And not just to me, to you and everyone else. Everyone that they get, that they squeeze those rocks to get our blood, our money, for something we don't need, because we already got it. You could have sent out a company-wide email to all the board gaming companies and online magazines and let them know, here's the new errata, put it up on all your sites. I don't know. Pisses me off. And it should make you angry too. This whole concept, this cult of the new, that to a degree, yes, always has been there. But now, with tens of thousands of board gamers having channels like I do, and just nothing but the new stuff. Nothing but the new. Even the new version of the same stuff. Here you go. And they're just spitting it out. They're just regurgitating it out onto the gaming table. We don't need any of this. Stop it. Stop it. Please. I can't say any more, because I'm just going to get angrier and angrier over this whole concept. But it does piss me off, and it should piss you off too.